Hey guys, it's Amy. How are y'all doing this beautiful Saturday morning? I know this is not live like we have intended, but I totally spaced when I told you all I would be here Saturday that I am doing a flea market and an art flea market over at Brew Red Buffalo in downtown Statesville. He's doing a flea market from 11 to 3 today on Saturday. Let's see if you're looking at this after the fact. Saturday, August 28th, 11 to 3, Red Buffalo. I will be doing a art flea market. I'm going to be selling a bunch of old retired stamp sets, die sets that go with those stamp sets if there is any. I'm also going to be selling some retired designer series paper and any of those retired goodies that you might want, and bunches of cards that are already made with envelopes for you to hand out to your loved one. I have Christmas, birthday, thinking of you, get well, lift your spirits, you name it, I probably have it. But I just totally spaced when I said I'd be here Saturday. And I'm also doing it with Bella Vita, our animal rescue. So a portion of the sales will probably go to Bella Vita as well, as is the whole month. This month, all a portion of the sales are going to Bella Vita Animal Rescue. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and flip you down, and we're going to go ahead and make a card today, so I didn't leave you hanging. I'm not live, but please follow me, share, like, subscribe, and I will mail out one of these cards to whomever in a random drawing from those who comment, share, like, and subscribe. So I'm going to flip you over, and I will get to it. All right, now we have the bottom. I gotta turn on some more light. It's a little cloudy out, and the sun's not right where I want it yet. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm trying to get all of the things out of the way, because, tiny spaces have tiny limitations, and I'm also trying to pack for the thing tomorrow, and yeah. So these are the cards. This is the one we're going to do today, so that you can see. I'm going to change it up a little bit. Like, I don't have enough paper for this. I'll show you how I did it. But if you want to do this cloud background on this paper, I will tag the little short tutorial on how to do that. I did that on Thursday on my Facebook Live. So, and this is another one using the Joy of Life stamp set that I showed you in the very beginning. This one is basically your card base with a 5.5 by 4 1/4 piece of cherry cobbler, and then a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of the Peaceful Place DSP, and then I've used the contour dies here, and then I used a stitch rectangle here, cut it out, and then I stamped this little guy on. And if you look, he's got his little eyeglasses. I put clear drying glue over them with a little balmy blue, so they were kind of a blue tinted, and that's our little piggy. And then I have this out of our holiday stamps for just sentiments. So that was how I did that one. But I love this little guy. I just think he's so cute. So this is the one I did, and everybody seems to love it. It's Evening Evergreen, or then not Evening Evergreen. It is Evergreen Elegance is the main stamp that we're using here, and I just threw this little guy in there just for fun. So we're going to create this guy, and I have most of it cut up for us, and I've already had the background done. So it'll be a simple card today. What you're going to need is your card base. You can do, this is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5.5, or you can do 5.5 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. Either one will work. Score it, fold it, you've got that. That's your card base. Then I have a piece of cherry cobbler. It is going to be the regular 5.5 by 4 1/4. This is going to go right on top, just like this. And this one, all of the cherry cobbler on here will be replaced here, and this one in Night of Navy. Then we're going to have a piece of cherry cobbler in 3.5 by 5, and we're going to have a piece of designer series paper. This is 1/8 shorter all the way around. as this piece. And I'll have the dimensions written out, but you know, I'm not good at those. So it'll go like this. And then we also have, this is 4 by 5 1/4. You can do this one this way, or our back side is this way, which is what I've done for this one. So I may change this one up a little bit and go with this one, and then put this on top and our little piggy and such. So let's get this sucker together. I am going to show you the stamp sets that we're going to use as well. And also my back side for my sentiment is a piece of the designer series paper that I cut down, so I didn't have to waste paper. We're using the Joy of Life stamp set with our little piggy here, and that's it out of this stamp set. I'm going to go ahead and get my little piggy because I have a bunch of them already cut out. And then we're going to use the Santa hat here from our sweet little stockings. And I have some of those cut out and done. As you can see, I have a bunch of things already cut out with my Big Shot, ready to roll. And I'm looking for another little hat. There's a hat. There's a hat. Put these up because we don't need this again. And then we're going to be using our Evergreen Elegance. I love this stamp set. With this one, I wasn't sure where to put some of the punch because it comes with an punch for it. It's called the Evergreen Punch, or I don't remember what we call the punch. I'd have to look it up, but we're not using the punch on this one, so you don't need to worry about it. Now, in order to do your designer series paper here with all of these little fun clouds, we have used our blending brushes, which we're not going to use those today because I will link the video on how to do that. I did these in Balmy Blue and a touch of Misty Moonlight at the very top to make it look dark. So that's all you need to worry about here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to color my pig and I'm going to color my hat. So, I mean, it's a really simple card. And we're going to color them. You could do blends. I'll probably do blends for the pig and regular markers for the hat. And I'm getting some petal pink, a tiny bit of flirty flamingo, and since the base of our background is going to be cherry cobbler, I'm going to use cherry cobbler as well for our scarf. And I also have some metallic gel pens that I have used. These are the metallic gel pens that I have. And I'm going to use my silver metallic gel pen so that it matches everything else for the stripes. All right. So first thing we need to do, well, we're not going to worry about our little piggy just yet. I'm going to go ahead and put our other trees in here. Because if you notice, our car here has green trees. Now, you know, green and silver trees. So how did we get that? We're going to take these trees. I'm going to use the biggest one first. I'm going to go ahead and use this one. Green tree. And we're going to use Evening Evergreen as our color. Let me move my little piggy and his hat. Move those over. And we're just going to stamp these in here. And then you can simply wipe them off with a touch of a damp towel. Nothing major. And it will pull off all that extra ink. So you can put these wherever you want. Like I'm going to put a tree right here in the middle. And I'm going to do in full strength. And then I'm going to slide a little shadow of an extra tree by doing a second generation stamp to the side of this one. So you see how you've got the second generation. And then I'm going to ink it up again. I'm going to do another full one. I'm going to make him pretty tall. We're just going to put him right here. There we go. And you could do more. I think I might just do a shadow right there. The second generation. And that's it. That's all you have to worry about. And you've got a little here, but that's not going to matter when we put our sentiment and such on. you won't even see it. So now we're going to take just a piece of towel or paper towel, whatever you have that's a little damp, and it will take off all this extra green. There you go. And there's your forest in the background. You could go taller, whatever you like for your stamps, and that's all you need to do to get those beautiful greenery in there. So we're done with the green trees, and now we're going to go ahead and adhere this to the back of our cherry cobbler cardstock. I'm just going to put this on just like this. That's it. And I will use glue so I can make sure I get it right. Because, you know, I might get it on crooked just like I just did. I have it crooked. Very crooked. There we go. Much better. All right. So there's our beginnings of our card. Now, I don't know about you. Do you like it like this? Or do you like it like this? I think I'm going to go ahead and go with this like we did the other one because I just think this makes it too dark. So I'm going to go this way. And this might actually even be too big compared to the other one, but I still think it's going to work. So what I did for this piece to get it to look... Is this my cherry? Nope, that's real red. Put that back. And here's our cherry cobbler marker. I'm going to take a ruler. And I'm just going to go through these light gray areas. And I'm going to kind of go in the half of them. Oh, and my marker is dying. That's not good. So we're just going to put a little line through these. So since that one's not working, I think I'm going to get out my... I really need I need a new one. And the only way to get a new one with Stampin' Up! Is to order them in a whole pack. And, well, the rest of mine are good. It's, you know, there we go. That's much better line. We're just going to use our blends since my other ones are drying out. And we're going to do this on all of them to give us this plaid, more of a plaid look. And of course mine may or may not be straight, but that's alright because you're not going to see a whole lot of the red. And once you do one way, flip it over and don't forget to do the other way so it all looks symmetrical. And it's super simple to do this. And it gives a really cool effect. And gives lots more color to your card. And if it's crooked, you know, it's no worse than some of the plaid coloring on some of those flannel shirts I've seen. There we go. Alright, we have our plaid done. And we're going to leave it at that. So, plaid base. This can now get put right on top of here in the center, just like it normally would, just like this. So again, I'm going to put some, now you could use this side, that's entirely up to you, but I chose to do a little bit of the other. And then we'll go ahead and put this down. There we go. There's our base. There's our second piece. It's going to go like this. And see, it just brightens it up, makes it a little softer. I think it makes it very cheery. Now I'm going to go ahead and do these little critters here. I'm going to take my light. Let's start with the dark. I'm going to take my dark, what is this? Petal pink. And I'm going to go around where I want the petal pink. I really should have done the pink first so that the glasses could dry up a little bit. And I'm putting this dark where I think all of the dark colors should be. Like his shadowing and darker shades should be. Like it should be darker right in here. Around his little arms. And down the sides, of course. And his little legs. And I'm going to just leave that as far as the color. And then I'm going to come in with a light color. And I'm going to do the brush. And I'm going to come in here and just color over the whole thing. At least the piggy part. His little ears. You know, his ears are nice and... You could make the pig any color you want. I mean, he could be brown. He could be black. He could be just white, a white pig, because there are white pigs. But I like a pink pig because that's me. So there we go. We've got a little extra shadowing. And I'm going to take my blend. And I'm going to blend out some of this over here. Just so that pale is a lot lighter. So he's not quite so dark. I'm also going to do a touch of this, let's see, this is Balmy Blue. This is the light Balmy Blue in our blends. And I'm just going to shade his glasses lightly with the Balmy Blue. I know it looks kind of funny because, you know, he should be pink there. And it looks kind of blue. But again, I'm going to come back with the light pale papaya and go over the whole thing so that it's not exactly the same color, but it has that shading so that you can see the shading on the glasses when I finish them. And I honestly prefer to color him before I cut him out, but I didn't. So now we've got that, and now I'm going to color his little cup. I'm going to take basic black blends, and I'm just going to color his top of his lid here. There we go. So it's nice and black. And then we'll do evening evergreen. We've got evening evergreen. We'll add a little evening evergreen to the cup, and I'm going to leave the cup mainly white. If it bleeds from the memento, that's fine. But I'm just going to do this little band here on the coffee cup. A little evening evergreen. So it kind of matches the background of the trees and such. Now I'm going to take a little light pink. This is light flirty flamingo. And I'm going to color inside of his ears. And then I'm coloring his nose. Mainly on the outside. And then I'm coming back in with my light, and I'm going to lighten up his nose a little bit, just so he's not really dark. I don't want him as light as possible, but I don't want him super flirty flamingo color. So there, we're done with his pig except for the scarf, and I'm going to do the scarf in cherry cobbler. I'm going to do the light cherry cobbler blend, because, you know, my cherry cobbler marker is dead. And I'm literally just going to use my paint tip, or my fine tip here. And I'm going to color in the lines. It's almost done. There we go. That's enough of him colored. Now I'm going to take that beautiful black gel silver And I'm just going to color in these lines. Alright, now our pick is complete. I'm leaving the rest of his little mug white. I am going to come in here and adjust just tip of his feet here and make sure that they're black. And there we go. Our little piggy is done, except for putting our clear gel. I'm looking for my, here it is. I've got some Crystal Effects that Stampin' Up! Used to carry, and we no longer carry. But you can also get glass glue, or any clear drying glue will work. I mean, even Tombow will work, but I don't use it because Tombow stays tacky for so long that it's hard to use. And I just use, because my tip has dried up so much, I just use a little pin because I want this kind of thick around my glasses. And I'm just globbing a drop on there and making sure that it covers my glasses. As you can see here, I'm just dropping some in there, and it will actually give a little dome shape and make his eyes nice and bold. Make sure you stay in that round shape of his glasses. Alright, there we go. His eyes are done now. And I'm going to put this right back in my jar. Put the cap back on it. And I'm going to set him aside to dry. Shouldn't take too long, but we're going to put him around the side. Somewhere where he won't get messed up. Now I'm going to cover my little hat here. I'm going to take my dark cherry cobbler. And I'm going to go on the edges. And a little bit right here. Because, you know, it seems to be where he's going to be darkest. And then take the rest of my cherry cobbler, the light, and blend this in. So once all of this cherry cobbler dries up, it will look nice and blended, yet have a little bit of dimension to it. And then I'm going to take, I have a white Wink of Stella. You can use just plain Wink of Stella if you like, but I have a white one, so it'll give me a little extra kick of white. And I'm going to put that right here on his little circle for his little cotton ball. And I'm going to put a little glimmer on his hat as well. And that's all I'm doing for that portion. And I'm going to set this aside till we're ready to put it on. And I've got all this hair in my face. It's driving me bananas, even though I got it cut. Alright, now I'm going to take my little leftover piece. I'm going to find it. This one right here. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment on it. And I think I'm going to go ahead and go green because we have so much red going on here. I'm going to go ahead and do the green like I did before. And I'm thinking of not cutting it in the die that I did. On this one I used a rectangle die. This is the smallest rectangle die that will fit the sentiment. And I really like this sentiment. So I might just leave it trimmed or, you know, fussy cut around it. I haven't decided yet. So this is my extra little piece on the bottom of that DSP. And I'm going to use the white side. And I'm going to use the Merry Christmas out of the Evergreen Elegance. And it doesn't really matter which way I stamp this, because it will be fine either way, because, you know, I can flip it up or down. And we're just going to stamp it on here. Merry Christmas. I love the script on this. And let's see how it looks. Do we want to leave it just like this, because then it would be even. I think I'm going to trim this side off just a little bit. Find some scissors here. Let's see what we get this way. Do like this. Pop it on some dimensionals and just leave it plain instead of doing the other. That'll give our little piggy something to stand on. So I'm going to put this on some dimensionals, but I'm not going to adhere it yet because I want to put some silver behind it. Here's my dimensionals. And the thought of fussy cutting the sentiment out doesn't really leave me any room to stick my piggy. So I'm not going to do that either. Alright, we've got this all figured out. Now I need to put that beautiful ribbon on there. The Simply Trimmed, it's silver. There is a way to trim this ribbon, but I don't know what it is. I haven't found that yet. So, you know, I'm not going to do that. I'm taking some regular adhesive tape runner and I'm putting it down here on my sentiment, because this is where I'm going to run it through. I'm just going to stick it down here and we're just going to wrap it randomly around so that we get it we might even need some on the other side. Yeah, we'll need some over here. Just is going to work better having a little everywhere, because it won't stay otherwise. So we're going to do a little everywhere. How's that? There we go. And I'm just literally taking it and just putting it wherever I want, you know? Trying to keep it from attaching itself to everything else, but I have to remember to keep the bottom from being too big. So we'll put it there. That would look good. And then just one more and we'll end it here. Should we end it here? Yeah, I kind of like it like that. End it right there. No, I don't like that. It makes it too wide. There we go. And we'll trim this off. There we go. This will go here. That means we'll have to put this up a little more if we do it like this. See if you can see this. It's too long. So we'll have to move this up a little bit if we leave it like this. So I'm thinking maybe we should take this and shorten it a bit. And the same with this one. Shorten this a bit. Like this. No, it needs to go on the outside as well. There we go. That might work. There we go. So a little of everything, gets it on the bottom. It brings us down a little bit more. I would have liked it to have been like that, but if we do that, then we're not going to have any of the ribbon showing on top, if that makes sense. Or on the bottom. This looks good. I'm happy with this. It's not perfect. It's probably not what I would do, but I still think it looks good. Looks better than the other one. So now that I've got this where I want this, and I'm sure that it's going to stay down, I'm going to go ahead and take my dimensionals off. I'm also going to put a third dimensional on here. Right here in the center. And then we're just going to place this down. Right where we want it. And I'm going to put it right here. There we go. So there's that. Now what we need to do is place this since I've already got adhesive down, we need to get a little glue. We could pop this up, but I already have enough popped with the sentiment. I don't want it to be too big to not be able to go into an envelope and mail easily without having to spend extra money, because, you know, it's Christmas and I want to have extra money for a lot of other things, not just mailing cards, even though that is one of my favorite things to do. So then we're going to pop this down, and there's your basis. You could actually leave this just like this. I think it's beautiful. I'm going to add some rhinestones, and I'm going to add my little piggy. So let me find my pig. My eyes are not quite set, but what I'm going to do is just add a dimensional behind him, behind his head, here, so that when I take it off, he will sit just like this. We could put him over here to give it a little difference. Kind of like him over there. I'm going to put him on the side. But before I do the side, I need to put his hat on. Before I forget the hat! Because, you know, that's the best part of him. And I know my hat slid underneath something. There it is. So we've got our hat here, and you're looking at that going, that's not going to work. You could put it on just like this and have him attached to his glasses while he's still damp. But what I did for my other one is I took my tiny, tiny scissors and I slit little holes in my hat. And I slipped the hat around the ears. And see, I didn't slip that right, did I? Here we go. Just like this. And see, it does hide the little ball here, but with the other one I kind of cut the ball so it would come out in the front. So what I did was just cut this line right here, so this would just fold out on the top. And I'm being very careful not to touch his eyes. So there, that way it came out on top. Your little hat's perfect. It's actually touching the glasses so that you don't have to worry about moving it. You could set your hat a little crooked. So he's really into those glasses. But I'm gonna leave him just like this. And you can leave your ear hanging out, whatever you wanted to do. That's entirely up to you. I'm gonna leave him just like this, and I'm gonna pop him on. Just like that. And you could go back and put a little dot underneath your hat, just so that you know it stays in place. I have one of our tiny dimensionals, and I'm going to stick it on the back of the hat. You could have done this before you placed him down, but I did not. Shame on me. And now get that backing off, which is always fun. Alright, and then place it down. And there you go. There's your front of your card. Isn't he cute? And you've got the silver, beautiful designer series paper going on. You've got some green trees, and you have this beautiful, happy, friendly pig. He's just going to go on top like this, which I'm not going to do that yet because my eyeballs are still wet. I'm going to set that to the side. I'm going to show you what I did on the inside of this one. This one I took a piece of plain white cardstock, which I have one done. I just need to find it. Here it is. Like this. And then you're just going to stamp some stuff here on the bottom, which we're going to go ahead and do. I have one already done. Let me go trim this because this is not big enough. Or it's too big, should I say. Alright, now that can go in there. And then we're going to get another piece of the cherry cobbler. This is not cherry cobbler. That is Mary Merlot. I really hope I have another piece of cherry cobbler. It's real red. See, I have all of these card pieces cut. And of course I only have real red. Here's a cherry cobbler right here. That Mary Merlot is like a wine color. It's really pretty, but it's like a wine. So I'm going to make this a quarter off of the other one. So it's going to be 4 1/8 by 5 1 2 3/8. And this will just lay right on top. Just like this. And we're going to place it inside our card base. Just like this. So let me get some, I'm actually using tape runner for the inside so it doesn't give those lumpy and bumpies that our glue generally does. And you know, if you want to write, you don't want lumpies and bumpies in your writing. So we're going to put this down here. There we go. I'm going to stamp the sentiments on these first. And I'm going to be using, may this beauty of the season bright bring you joy and warm memories to cherish throughout the year. And again, we're going to use the evening evergreen. For our sentiment and our trees on the inside. Now, I don't usually do the inside of my cards. I know you all know this. I tend to not, because I never know what I want it to say. I generally wait to do them when I get ready to send them. And a lot of the reason is because I do a lot of selling of my cards. And sometimes I even donate my cards to nursing homes and retirement facilities. And I stamp that very quickly. Oh well. Not much I can do about it at this point. It's done. And it's okay. So now what I'm going to do is take my medium tree that comes in our little kit, in our little stamps here. And I'm going to just stamp this a couple of times on the edge. It would probably be better not to have put this on the red already. But I'm going to stamp one tree tall. And then stamp another off. And then stamp another half right over it. So it's like this. And then what I did as well on the bottom to give it a nice, this is a beautiful holly type look. I put this on there. I thought it looked great. And I'm going to do this as well. So I'm going to get some ink on this. And I'm just going to come in here and stamp that on the edge. Just so we get a little bit of tree-like on the edge there. And that's it. We're going to glue this inside of our card base. Now I can use regular glue because this won't be where you write. And I don't use a whole lot. I probably should, but since this is for demo purposes. Just like that. In it goes. It's perfectly in there, and there's your inside of your card. And now we can go ahead and I'm going to varnish this. Don't know where my varnish tool went. It's not on my desk. It's probably because it's over here where I've been getting ready for my arts and crafts show. There it is. Exactly where I said it was. And I'm going to go ahead and finish this down. Make sure it's nice and tight and good. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this on. Now I'm going to be very, very careful about putting this on because my eyeballs are still a little wet. And I don't want to smoosh them. So I will put this up just like this. Make sure it's nice and even. And there you have it. Tap all around him. Now we can put some rhinestones on there. You could do red. I've got some red ones here to add a little bling factor. On the other one, I did some silver, just plain old silver ones. And of course, they stick in my fingernails really well. And maybe the idea of 3 sounds good. And there you go. There's another cute little Christmas card. There we go. There's the 2 cards. Now, if you comment, share, or like any one of these posts, I will send you one of these cards. So, we put your, get that off of there. Put you back to my ugly mug. And talk about what's going on with Stampin' with the Heart. Stampin' with the Heart next week is, she doesn't know what she's doing. I guess we'll work on some fall cards. I've been doing a lot with Bella Vita. I'm trying to get myself caught up for September with them. And we're doing a once a month art and flea market. So until all of my supplies is gone, the retired stuff is gone, I will be doing that once a month. Hopefully we'll continue to do that. And anyway, y'all have a great day. I'm sorry I couldn't be with you live today, but the kitties need me, and I promised the owner of the Red Buffalo that I would do it this month, because last month it was the quarterly demos meeting, and I didn't get to go because I had all that situated to go, and then my pet sitter bailed out on me. So I couldn't go at that point anyway. But the good news is I have a pet sitter now. I have met one through Bella Vita, and she is awesome. So future events, I'll be able to actually go. Y'all have a blessed day. Enjoy your Saturday. And my friends in Louisiana, I'm sure you're probably not watching me today. And if you are, it's because you're dealing with rain and nastiness outside, and hoping your power stays on and you all stay safe. Hugs, kisses, and much prayers to all of you. Bye, y'all.